What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Web3 DJs. I'm your host, Sticky Finger Jones, with my co-host here, Hofstra.eth, the one and only. It's been a great week in NFTs. We're here to this week. We're going to start by you guys down with what's happening in crypto, go through the different blockchains. Then we're going to give you kind of an update of what's going on in the NFT world, what's moving, what's not moving, maybe what you should keep your eye on. Hofstra has just made a huge stride in the UFC or in the NFT space, that I'm really excited to hear about. And after that, we got a little surprise for you. So let's get right into it. Hofstra, how are you feeling? How was your weekend?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I just traveled around the whole world and laid down yesterday, dude. I'm about to hit it tomorrow. So fired up to get into the show, man. I spent probably half my Sunday on the project that we're going to talk about. So
Yeah, and total transparency, I don't know a ton about the project. It's really funny that you would have got into it because I actually had some of my other NFT homies message me and say that they wish they had, maybe it was called the list, or they were whitelisted for the project. So yeah, anyways, I'm really interested to hear about this and understand, I guess, what the hype is. The space is moving. Things are changing rapidly every single day. We say it all the time that like a week is comparable to a year in this space. And it sounds like what you have, the path that you're taking, is something somewhat new to NFTs. So I'm really interested to hear what that's about. But first, let's go ahead and hit a market recap and see what's going on in the crypto world. So Bitcoin, the crypto gold standard, now it's down to $19,917. That's down 0.5% over the last 24 hours and down 7.74% over the last 7 days. Seems like if you look at this last 7 days chart, it's not a very pretty sign. So really interested to see what's going on here. And of course, Ethereum, as we've said time and time again on the show, really seems to copy that trend or follow the trend of Bitcoin. And so Ethereum's down at $1,464. It's down 1.5 points over the last 24 hours and down almost 10% over the last 7 days. Really interesting. We're going to eye on this and really start to see if there's like a good opportunity for us to get back into this and continue to buy. Well, I mean, I dollar cost average to some degree, but sometimes there's better points to add larger chunks, if you will. Moving on, we've got Solana, $31.35. It's only down 0.2% over the last 24 hours. But if you look over the last 7 days, it's down 14.5%. So again, we're seeing red all across the market here. It wouldn't be a Web3 DJ show if we did go and talk about one of our, smaller but famous or favorite blockchains, and that is, of course, Tezos. Tezos to 1.46, but it's up almost 0.2% over the last 24 hours. That being said, just like everything else, 2% over the last 7 days. And then, of course, ApeCoin, like we talked about, $4.76 right now, up about almost 0.6 over the last 24 hours, but just like everything else, down 9.5% over the last 7 days. How are you feeling about the market, Hofstra? Are you looking at doing anything special right now, or just kind of keeping your eyes out?
no, I haven't really bought anything other than Solana today. I freed up about, 1.1 ETH or so, and then flipped it almost all into Solana, which actually I don't mind because it's at like 33, or it was when I bought it. So the high on that's like 250. So the way things are going in the Solana ecosystem, like I feel pretty good that I'm not buying too much further than the bottom, and there's a lot of upside. So
Yeah, very nice. I think that's a great point. And kind of just like I said, it's red across the board. We saw that as we kind of went through our quick market update. I think for me, what I'm going to do at this point is watch. I'm going to see if there's some opportunity, and it would be really awesome if I can make a sweep play and call bottom. But I'll probably start to add if things continue to dip. Like you said, I wouldn't anticipate it going too much further. But that being said, do your own research, not financial advice. Dips are our friends. Yeah, so how about in the NFT space? What's going on there, brother?
well, it kind of looks like it did last time we did this. So this is I pulled up the 7-day. So
Okay.
pretty much top three right here. We've got Bored Apes.
Wow, what's going
One,
on
two,
with
and
you?
three. So
I wonder.
it's 79, 14, and 1.7. About a week ago, this was at like 1.1. We were down to 64. So if you bought one of these, it's last week, you made some pretty good money if you sold this week. Pudgy Penguins, it's down a little bit, 3.1. DGods, which I'm going to get into, is jumping up the list. Lots of activity. And actually, in fact, if you go to the 24 hours, you can see what's on top. Boom. DGods
Wow.
making a serious run right now. And the activity on this is pretty much straight up.
Can you show us
So,
the tokens? What do these tokens look like?
DGods right here. Right here.
Really interesting. Wow.
Solana
They have like
project.
striking
It's
resemblance to myself.
It's being touted as the Bored Ape Yacht Club of Solana right now. I was on a space earlier, and these guys were saying how this is going to be bigger than Bored Ape Yacht Club.
Wow.
And they're drinking the juice on this one. Lots of hopium, lots of Wagner vibes, but I can understand why. What they're doing on marketing this project right now is pretty incredible. So I don't know if you want me to just get right into Utes right
Yeah,
now.
let's go ahead and do it. You got some big news. You said it was, I guess we'll call it a bit of an investment, if you will. Why don't you go ahead and tell us what you're doing here?
Yeah, well, I haven't bought anything yet.
Okay.
So this right here, this is Utes. This is kind of the equivalent to Bored Ape Yacht Club's Mutinates. So Utes is the follow-up project to DGods,
Okay.
which we just went over. Hold on. This is DGods right here. So this is the parent project. And I just want to show you the activity chart real quick. It's not coming up. Anyway, this project launched in October of last year. I didn't really know that much about Utes other than for the past 3 weeks. Easy Eats Bodega, which we're going to have on the show here coming up, was all over this project weeks ago. And he was
Okay.
just lighting up Twitter. He was on all the Twitter spaces saying Utes is where it's at. And then since then, it's gained a lot of steam. So what I had to do today was fill out a scholarship application. So if you go on the website right here, it'll lead you to this page,
Okay.
and you actually have to apply. So I can check my status right now. I connected my Phantom wallet. Basically, it just says it's under review, and then I had to swap Solana to Dust, which is the token for DGods. And that project, that was a little bit. So if you're not crypto friendly, or if you haven't been around in the space, it might have been a little bit challenging. So what I had to do is take Ethereum, send it over from my MetaMask to my FTX, swap it for Solana, then
Okay.
go on another exchange called Radium, and then swap my Solana for Dust. So a little bit, and Dust right here is, hold on, I want to find what this says. So what is Dust? So basically, all of crypto is crashing right now, but there is still an insane amount of hype around Dust. What exactly is Dust, and why is everyone excited? Here's everything you need to know. So basically, Dust is DGods token. Token is actually backed by real value. Unlike most tokens, the Dust supply begins at a supply of 0, but the only way to Dust can be created either by burning NFTs or staking DGods. So you have, up until now, you could have bought it on the exchange, but if you had a DGod and you staked it, you got a certain amount of Dust every single day. And then what they do down here is they buy NFTs from the DAO. So the DAO gets a certain portion of it, and then you can use your Dust to buy NFTs at a discount. And so what they say is the value of Dust basically is what the community creates it. So in this example right here, they bought a Solana monkey business. So if DDAO buys a Solana monkey business for 150 and sells it for 15,000 Dust, the market is saying that 1 Dust equals 0.01 SOL. As Dust utility grows, the market can accurately price it. It's kind of a cool concept. So basically, if it's their way of paying back holders.
Sure.
And I just want to pull up the chart right now. So this is the 1 month chart on Dust. A month ago is at 1.314, and look what it's done in the last couple of days. So it's over 3 right now. So when I swapped, you had to put 375 Dust into your wallet. Well, if I would have bought it, a week ago, I would have paid 1.3. I paid 2.7 dust. So it was almost $1,000 for me to do that.
Just to fill out the application.
Well, you don't have to do it to fill out the application, but I just did it so that it was filled out. I don't know if it gives me any preference or not, but basically I have a 1 in 10 shot of getting this. There's 20,000 applications. It might even be higher than that. But the crazy thing is on this Ute list right here. So if you subscribe here, it just gives you like a real time of everybody that's getting into Utes. This is why I think it's like, the more I look at this project, I'm like, this is so genius. So they've created all this hype, right? And now they're letting like big name people in and then small. But what they're saying is they want to create the most engaging NFT community. So when you fill out this application, it asks you, I don't know if I can fill this out now, but you have to verify your Twitter. And then you go into here. And then you actually have to pick one of these things. So builder, founder, builder, quality content creator, analyst, alpha caller, artist, working in Web3, meme creator, very important person, 24/7 contributor, other. So
Which
let's
did you
say
put?
a quality content creator.
There it is. And
So I went
just like
here,
that,
and
don't forget it.
And then you can add links. So you basically have to tell them why you want to be in this project.
Okay.
And the people that are getting in this project right now, like Wayne Rooney was this afternoon. Lil Baby just got in. And then there's like a bunch of random, like, watch, I'll just go here. This is
That
like,
is pretty hype, honestly.
yeah, Nasty Black, some actor. That's this guy. And then it'll be like some random person, like 63 followers, right?
Shout out
And
to
then,
Morpheus.
yeah, and then you keep going, 167 followers. So I don't know how random it is, but they've got like some really big names and then just average people. But what it's doing in the space right now is it's creating like this super FOMO and super hype. And basically they're saying if you're just some like, random NFT person that's not engaged in the space, we don't want you. We want people that are going to be creating content, big name people that are going to back this community and then provide value to the holders. So I'm pretty sure that if you get one of these things, it's going to just run. I mean, estimates anywhere between 30 and 50 Solana, which would be the equivalent of like the ratio from Bored Ape to Mutant Ape.
Sure.
But I mean, I spent time looking at, I mean, the whole thing behind this is like a common sense approach to the NFT intellectual property. It gets into this white paper if you go on there, and it talks about how they're going to monetize content creation or artist or through their marketplace.
Really?
And I don't know, man. This right here is interesting. Frank's the guy that started DGods. I don't know if you remember this, but they had created this 33.3. It was basically called a bitch tax. So if that when DGods came out, basically what does it say? 33.3 originates from the first DGods experiment. The paper hands bitch tax was 33.3 tax charged on people that sold their DGod under the floor.
Wow.
So it was written in the contract that if you sold it under the floor price, they basically just took 33.3%. Now they got kickback. They don't do that anymore, but they keep saying that they're coming out with new stuff that's innovative, that's creative in this. Lots of experiments, but this is a little bit on dust. I guess it halves it. It's deflationary. But yeah, check this project out. So I just filled out the application, read through all the stuff. And then if nothing else, I have dust now. Hopefully it continues to go up, because if I don't get on it, I'm going to have to back it out and see if I can't just scoop one of these off the floor. So I think it comes out like September 3rd, I think is the mint date.
Down in my notes right now. make sure you apply to get on the Ute list because Web3 DJs, that seems like home to us.
Yes, I put it all on there, but I mean, who the hell knows? Like Benjamin's not on the Ute list, and then like Pio got on it, and then Easy's on it. There's some big name people in Soul. There's some big name people in NFTs in general that are on it or aren't on it. So, I mean, but it's like everybody's sitting here waiting to see if you get picked for this club. I guess it's like,
Yeah.
oh, am I going to get picked to be on this list? And so everyone's FOMOing, but whatever they're doing is working because there's so much hype. Just look at OpenSea; it's the #1 project now, and it's trending. And we've still got like a week before this thing goes live. But the application ends tonight, so if you're going to do it, it's at midnight tonight that it's over. So, do you have a Phantom wallet?
I will before midnight tonight.
Yeah, download a Phantom wallet and then go on there.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I will say, I think one of the #1 things that I really enjoy already is that they're celebrating their community right out of the gate, right? You don't necessarily, you don't see when people win whitelists and that sort of thing, unless it's a Twitter giveaway, the community reaching out to them and saying, hey, congrats, right? So I think this is a really, really interesting piece here. Yeah, really excited how that goes, and I'm going to do my best to get on the Ute list myself.
Yeah, so I have my alert set, and so now it just like every time it dings, I'm looking at my phone like, did I get picked? Did I get
Nice.
picked?
Yeah, and I mean, just look at the engagement under these as well. You know, they're
Dude, did you
getting
see
a ton
that?
of
Look at
retweets and
this.
comments and likes and all this sort of thing. So yeah, it definitely is like a place you want to be in the Web3 space.
Yeah, so if you get picked, look at this.
People are going
102.
ham.
I mean, so how they're creating engagement and FOMO and then bring in utility. Because, like, let's say I had my DGOD staked. Well, the value of all of the dust that I've been getting for however long just doubled or tripled. Because
For
I'm sure
sure.
it came out less than one. So now people are buying the coin. I mean, however they've constructed this thing, whoever's behind it is smart. And then trying to get bigger name people and smaller and just people that are solid in the NFT market. That's why when they're like, it's going to be bigger than Bored Ape. I mean, that's hard for me to believe, but
Agreed.
Solana is much easier for people to adopt because there's no gas fees. There's, it's just a completely different crowd. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think for me on that point, it would just kind of be, it depends on how they're going to define bigger than Bored Ape because, right off the bat, and no offense, but I don't find the art as marketable, if you will. Like the Bored Ape is a really cool thing to kind of build brands if and that sort of thing. Like we'll see tonight on the VMAs with Snoop Dogg and Eminem. I don't see this playing out quite as well, but perhaps, they're able to take a unique approach on a different blockchain and, what they're defining as bigger is not exactly like what I'm defining as bigger. And so, yeah, I think that one kind of depends, but it'll be really interesting to see what happens. And what are these valued at right now? Like, what's the floor?
So the floor is like, well, it's priced in Sol. Hold on. I don't know why this is not pulling up correctly. Hold on, let me just pull this.
Nice.
There. So floor price is 777 Solana.
That's pretty lucky right there.
It's like $23,000 for one of these things right now.
Good night, man. That is beautiful. That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's why if you look at Magic Eden, they're like so far on top, and everything that they're doing is working though. I mean, the coin actually has value. There's a staking mechanism.
For sure.
The cool thing about this is a lot of times when you have a secondary project, it devalues the whole thing.
Right.
But with them doing this and trying to bring good people into it and getting people excited and like, I don't know, they're doing something completely different than I've seen before. And they're making the secondary project coming out the gate like super hyped.
Yeah, I was also thinking, what if this was the first project to have their secondary collection outvalue the first, flip the first? That would be a really interesting happening as well. So, but yeah, I think that's great. I'm definitely going to check it out. We'll have the links to all this information in the bio as well. So make sure you go ahead and check it out. Long story short, a project doing something, attempting to compete and be the flagship collection on Solana. Will quote unquote Bored Ape Yacht Club have a little bit of offense to that. And the application ends tonight. So make sure you go ahead and get on that. So before we move into the next segment, well, did you have anything else to say about that? I see you've got. Is this the founder? Maybe.
No, this is the founder, Frank. I just thought this was funny. He said, "We tried some shit, we learned some shit. Now we're trying some new shit."
Beautiful. I love
It's pretty accurate.
that right there. Before we get into the next segment, remember if you're watching this and you enjoy the content, that the number one thing you should be doing right now at this very instant in time is texting a friend, calling a friend, letting somebody else know about us. After that, make sure that you have hit that like, comment, and you've subscribed. Make sure you, if you're on Twitter, you retweet and you follow us on Twitter. That's the best way that you can support the show. Moving on from that, last week we got a little bit of a hate. We got some love, some ways for our previous video where we said scams, and we listed out all the problems, the largest, or from our perspective, the largest opportunities that NFT projects in the space faces today. We want to go ahead and end the show kind of on the reversal of that and let you guys know the best things or the top 3 things that we love about NFTs. See, it's not just the bad. We'll talk about the good here as well. Hofstra, you want to kick us off or you want me to go?
Yeah, I'll kick it off.
Let's hear it.
Creativity. So like exactly what we were just talking about on this Utes. This is the stuff that's new. It hasn't been seen before, hasn't been done before, and you've got a lot of creative people with this new technology trying to figure out how do we use this.
Yeah.
And it's like everyone's trying to solve a very difficult problem, and just the mix of people that you get some very smart technological people mixed with some very creative artistic people, then with some business people, then VC, like just the whole group of people in here trying to create this new Web3 is for me the most exciting part to be involved in. Just seeing the evolution, seeing people try stuff, seeing how new things work. It's probably the most appealing thing to me is the creativity.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful. I'll say that not just from the founder or developer side, but me as an individual, it's fostered creativity in my own life. Like I've started to draw again, getting a little bit into painting, and all this stuff was, yeah, the show
show.
exactly. All of this show, our content creation, 100%, and all of this was that fire was lit through NFTs and through the Web3 space. Through seeing other people doing it and literally making me feel like, you know what, if this random idiot on the other side of the world is doing it, why the heck can't I? And so, yeah, I think that that's a very beautiful first point. For me, the number one thing, or I'm not, these aren't necessarily in order, but the first thing that I want to call out is the relationship between the projects and the consumers, that firm and consumer relationship. I really like that about NFTs, and I feel like it's going to set the precedent or kind of redefine the standard of how companies engage with their consumers as a whole. And what I mean by that is like in the NFT space, if you hop into a Discord, I mean, you can literally speak with the founder of a company. Yuga Labs is now over like 1.1 billion. Maybe I think they got a $4 billion valuation just a year or so after. And like if you have a Bored Ape and you're in that server, so on and so forth, you literally have access to these individuals. I mean, think about this. Like, if you have an idea about something that can make the project better for most of the projects, there's a channel for you to kind of submit this, for them to hear it, for them to take your idea and maybe even incorporate you and help allow you to help run this idea that you have for the project. I mean, anything else that currently exists in Web2 probably not going to let you do that. Nike, if I wanted to do it for Home Depot, I don't think they would let us do that. And even if somebody's sitting back home, well, I promise you, they would let us do that. I mean, the channels to be more complex than here in Web3, and so I think that's a very beautiful opportunity. Way that the project or the founders can engage with the people who are actively participating. I mean, from that regard, and I like the way that that standard is being set. So that's the first thing for me.
Well, I mean, this one's a pretty obvious answer, but community is one thing you'll hear over and over and over in this space. Community this, community that. But I've met a lot of people that I never would have probably ran into at different events, on Twitter of all places. Met a lot of people through Twitter. That's kind of went, and then from there went to Discord and just more personal interactions. And so, um, I think hands down, community has to be one of the biggest things in the space, especially if you're, looking for people that have like-minded ideas and, just trying to find other creative people. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, hell yeah, that's what I was gonna say for number two for me as well. So I'll switch my second one up a little bit, but just to comment on the community piece, I think that that is huge. I won't lie to you. Initially, when I got into the NFT space and that was like one of the major selling points was join our community, join our community. And to be honest with you, I wasn't really buying it. It wasn't for me. I'm like, I have friends, so on and so forth. What do I need to like make these virtual friends who I'll probably never hang out with? But I think community really is huge. It's going to sustain the projects in the long run. It kind of, tallies off the first point that I made. There's a couple cool pieces there. One, I won't lie, the projects are outdoing themselves in terms of the meetups. I know it is kind of just like a glorified party, if you will, at least at this point in time. But that's really awesome, and it is something that like makes people want to join and continue to engage with the project. From there, I heard something a while ago when I was trying to understand what people meant by community in this space, and they said, think about this. In the old days, if you were taking a cross country trip and you were part of I don't know, like a fraternity or the Moose Lodge or something like that, and you're in the middle of Kansas and your car breaks down and you're stuck. Obviously, you can call a mechanic, so on and so forth. But there's also the potential that you can call your Moose Lodge brother in Kansas, who's a mechanic,
Just
to
call them
come
gutter
like,
cat gangs now.
yeah, exactly, to come help you and hook you up. And it's like that's exactly like what NFTs are. If I'm stranded, or maybe I'm like in a new city and I'm looking for something or looking for people to engage with, whatever that looks like, these projects are kind of serving as an opportunity for you to do that. And so I think community is really huge there. So for me though, since community was my second, I'll switch it up a little bit. I really like the brand IP portion that they give you, and I think that that is really big. And so I actually had this article that I was reading that share the link to in the description as well. And it's how NFTs drive brand engagement and opportunity. And a lot of this comes down to like supporting like people helping others that are in the same community as they are. This is written by Entrepreneur, and it's a really great read. It's a quick read. It probably would only take 2 or 3 minutes. But one of the greatest examples of this is like, look at this. We've got Bored and Hungry. This individual leveraged their Bored Ape to launch um, a storefront for I guess a restaurant, right? And this thing is going off the chart. Now you see they've got the Gentunes Incorporated, they've got this meal, and the community is really rallied behind this. I mean, I promise you, they're located in LA. If I'm in LA, I'm 100% going to make this part of my trip, right? And it's just because of the NFT piece. And I think that that's really awesome. We have another example. We've had these individuals on the show, Gutter Mud. This is them doing the same thing. And then finally, the other one that I wanted to highlight, one of my personal favorites, is the Gutter Cat Gang here at Los Angeles Ale Works. This individual named Gawa Ninja launched a beer and put his Gutter Cat on it. And it's like, what's crazy about this is you can literally take an idea, like let's take this beer, let's take this coffee company, or let's take this restaurant. If they didn't brand with their NFT and leverage their IP in this fashion, I can almost promise you they would have not received the influx of support right out of the gate that they have, right? The company has really rallied behind him, or the community's rallied behind him because they see like, hey, I'm a part of this community. They're doing something. I just want to enjoy that myself. And I mean, that's exactly why I bought Gutter Mud off the bat. Not only did I drink coffee, but I saw that they were using a project that I was involved in, and it really propelled me to purchase. And at that, I was willing to pay a premium for a product that I could buy cheaper just because of the association. So I'll say that's number two for me, the way that communities rally around you and the way that you can leverage your IP to build brands. What do you have
That's
for number
awesome.
three here? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, number three. No, I think we already hit three. Creativity. We've got brand and IP, and then
And then
community.
you had community. Do you have one more, or I've got one more if
Oh,
not?
and NFTs. I mean, you have to throw in the financial aspect because none of us would have been
What are
into
we doing
this.
here? We gotta Hold on, we
Yeah,
gotta talk before the show more about this in depth because, like, yeah, we banged number 2 and 3 out. So I think number 3 is a great one for us to be aligned on. Go ahead. The
yeah.
financial.
So the possibility to make money. So we both like to gamble. I play DraftKings. You're sports betting every day. I mean, anything that I can be competitive in and try to win money, even better. And so that was originally what drew me to NFTs in the beginning, because I hopped in right at the beginning of the bull run, and it was crazy. It was
Oh
fun.
yeah.
It was like it was like everything mixed into one. It was like stock trading, art, collecting. It was like I never experienced it, and it just was fun. And now it's. I don't think you can make the gains that you could have, but like stuff like you still going on. There's been a lot of projects recently, on that top 10 right now. I mean, there's projects
Right.
that are popping off, so you still have the ability. You just got to play. It's kind of like how DraftKings was. In the beginning, it was really easy because there wasn't a lot of really skilled players. So if you were halfway decent, you could win a lot. And then, all these algorithms and software programs came in, and people just like all the real poker players and professionals hopped over, and you just couldn't. I mean, it's more of a grind now, and
Right.
so that's the difference with where it's at now. Is you can't just buy anything and it's going to go up. You've got to be strategic. And that's what I've been spending a lot of my time on recently, is trying to figure out what is my strategy? Where do I want to put my money? Should I just
Mhm.
sell everything and get one, or get two or three in the right ecosystem? Before, I was just really spread out. So the financial piece is cool for me because
One.
it's
Yeah.
challenging.
100%. I think the financial piece is beautiful. Here, I said it a million times. I'll say it again right here. At the end of the day, in my opinion at least, the number one piece of utility is putting money in your consumer's pocket, right? Growing their bank account, portfolio, whatever you want to call it. I don't think there's anything that's going to make people happier than that. And I've told my personal story about how I also joined during the bull run. And crypto and NFTs, taking profits there, literally paid for a large portion of my wedding. I mean, my wedding, which is tens of thousands of dollars in one evening. And so I would not have been able to have the wedding that my wife and I had. By the way, gotta show this, the rings that we have, the honeymoon that we had, any of that without NFTs. And so yeah, that's definitely huge. And when we talk about this, man, the money is real. In the words of Anderson Paak, and this was like one of the largest. Tell my buddies when I was talking about NFTs, why don't you go get it, right? You see here, we heard this story back in 2021. Someone paid $1.3 million for a picture of a rock. Come on,
He's kicking
CNBC.
himself right now.
Yeah, what the heck is. All right. Apparently, CNBC doesn't like my ad blocker. Um, we have this crypto punk, $8 million, and I mean the list goes on and on and on. About all these major sales and these major, I mean, life-changing gains that people have made. We've had guests on here before that said like middle class, and I think that's like a great final point to this financial piece. There's opportunity out there to really change your life. I mean, my life's been in financially at least, but like there is 100% the opportunity for your life to change in a really big way. NFT space. So great. Those are the top three things that we love about NFTs. Running them back for you guys again. Creativity, the way that the firms engage with the brands, community, the way that you can leverage your IP to launch a brand successfully, and then finally, the money, fiscal aspect. So you have the Web3
Should have
DJs.
called it the top five.
Yeah, I guess so.
We should
That's
have
what
called it
it'll
the
come
top
down to
five.
now. I
Week
mean,
five, whatever.
it's
We
all
don't have to
good.
do math very well on this. We're just throwing shit
Yeah, I
against the
mean, here's the
wall
thing:
here.
it's NFTs. There's a lot to love, right? It's tough. Can I just choose three? But yeah, we've got an outstanding show lined up for you all this Wednesday. One of Hofstra booked this guest. It's Depeche Node, one of his buddies, and so we're really stoked to have him on this Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central. Make sure you're following us on Twitter at Web3DJ so you can never miss an episode. We always post before we go live and that sort of thing. Mark your calendars there. Otherwise, again, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube and tell a friend about us. That's the number one way that you can support the show, and we're really appreciative for that. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you love about NFTs. Do we hit everything? Do we miss something? What should we have covered? If there's anybody on the show you want us or you would love for us to see on the show, let us know so we can try and book them. We want to engage with you guys just as much as you guys are engaging with us. We appreciate all the support. And yeah, what do you got for us, Hofstra?
Julian Joseph, thank you for coming on. He was our
Nice.
the only live listener. But he said, I don't know why I'm the only person here, but thank you guys for the content. Very insightful stuff. Thank you so much for showing up. But I just want to leave with this. Like, there's 3 people now that have been picked for this Ute list thing, and I'm not one of them. So I'm going to be looking at my freaking phone every single time the alert goes off, trying to think, like, am I good enough? Was my application good enough? Dude, it was hilarious. So Micah G's another guy. He just posted this. He goes, sitting here trying to think of how I can edit my Ute list application so I can seem more impressive than Wayne Rooney. Down bad. And then Depeche Note, if you edit it back to the end of the queue, which is probably a death sentence for your application, telling myself this. So these guys are all pretty big influencers, and Benjamin all redid their application today to try to make it look better so they could get on the list, dude. This is freaking crazy. So I'm just going to leave with, like, keep your fingers crossed. Hopefully I get this thing when we come back next time and make some money.
Coming back next time to make some cash. Hot this Wednesday, 6 p.m. Mark your calendars. Like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, we are the Web3 DJs.
Peace.
Peace, and thanks for tuning in.